Howdy folks, and welcome back to the Nature Photography Show. In this video, I'm going to tackle one of the great myths of landscape photography. Here I am at the worst possible time of day in Florida temperatures, which are 90 something with a feels like of the surface of the sun. And I'm here to dispel a myth that has existed in photography for a long time. I have not only believed it, but perpetuated it as well. It is the when you can take your photos. So I wanted to come out in the middle of the day and show you that you can make at least decent images in the middle of the day. So what you have to do is you have to lean in to the harshness of the light. And here I'm fortunate, I've got some puffy clouds and occasional shadow, but it's very occasional. And I'm standing in the middle of the water. It's at least cooler than being over there. But my plan is, you can see this tree right here. My plan is to get a little closer, get lower, and then let's see if I can open up with a 14 to 24, and let's see what we can bring in. We can bring in the clouds, bring in the sky. Anything in the distance should be minimized, and so we should be able to isolate this tree. So that is what I'm going to work on. It being so hot means that I have limited recording time as well, but here we are doing what we're doing. So I'm going to get out here and give it a go. So I've stopped because right over there is a gator. He's about 25 feet away, maybe 30 feet. And I don't want to get eaten by a gator today. That would ruin my entire day, although it would probably make some pretty good video. But I'm also very limited in how much time I can record because it being so hot out here, my camera is overheating. So I'm going to try to make this quick. We'll move up, take a couple of shots, and we're going to get out of here and try to find something else besides the middle of the water with alligators around on a hot, miserable Florida day in the middle of the day. But here we are. All right, let's keep at it. All right, I've got set up pretty good here. I've got a couple of shots already. The settings, they're strange. It's f11 because that's what I want. But I have a circular polarizer on the end to help cut down with the reflections, to maybe bring a little bit more into the sky, but you can do most of that in post, so that's not really what I'm using the circular polarizer for. It's more to take care of the reflections, enhance reflections, that kind of thing. So I've got that on right now. I've got a couple of shots. I'm using just a self-timer because my shutter speed is, let's see, 1/25 of a second, which with a 14 millimeter I could easily handhold, but you can never really be too careful. So let me get a couple of more shots here. I would like a little faster shutter speed because the leaves on the cypress tree are moving quite a bit. So I am going to drop down to about an f8 and we will see, give us about 250th of a second on the shutter speed. So let me take a couple of more shots here. I'm more interested in keeping an eye on Mr. Gator over there. So anyway, let me get a couple of more shots here. I'll see what I can do vertically as well. And what I'm thinking right now is I'm thinking black and white. So that's not a bad idea on days like this. All right, so I'm out of the water. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to go with a telephoto lens, try to get a little closer that way. I've managed to get a little bit, I think, of what I wanted. So I do have another pro tip for you. If you have waterproof boots, if you get in water deep enough, waterproof buckets, as it turns out. All right, so it's proving a little difficult to do the video as well as the photography in this heat. A lot of it is because the camera, my Nikon Z6 II, tends to overheat. And I would say something bad about Nikon, but it was 100 degrees or so when I got in my car, and it's extraordinarily humid, and I'm shooting at 4K, so I'm not gonna be too hard on Nikon for that. But decided to get out of the water, away from the gators, just because it seemed like a pretty smart thing to do. So I swapped to my 100 to 400, and now I'm gonna start picking out areas. And what I found is a small little cypress tree that's got really white branches and nice green leaves. So the hard part is that everything behind it is also green. But because I'm using the 100 to 400, I'm gonna zoom in as far as I can, even if I have to back up a little bit. I'm gonna get to the widest aperture possible, which is 5.6 for this lens. And I'm gonna take a couple of photographs, and I'm concentrating mostly on the contrast between the leaves and the white branches. And I'm just gonna pick out a little vignette because, again, it's bright, it's sunny, you got passing clouds, things are random. Like right now the sun just hit it, and I'd really like to take this image because I like the idea of leaning into the pain and suffering of midday shooting, which is harsh light. You know, you have to use that to be creative. So don't shy away from the harsh light. If you want to get out and you want to take photos, then go do it, and don't worry about the time of day. Just understand if you're in the middle of the day, you're not going to have that beautiful golden or blue light that you're used to. You're going to have direct sunlight, you're going to have harsh shadows, and it's, well, if you're in Florida, it's not going to be overall physically pleasant if you do it. But in this situation, I'm still finding things to photograph. And I bet if you get out in the middle of the day, I bet you can too. So I'm gonna get back to shooting. We're gonna pick out a couple of more vignettes, and then I am gonna go find some ice water and an AC. So I gotta be honest, I'm beat. But if you're gonna photograph Florida in the summer, that's just the way it's gonna be. It's not that much cooler in the morning when you get up and you get outside before sunrise. You just don't have the sun on you. So can you shoot in the middle of the day and still get good photographs? Yeah, you absolutely can. So don't let that myth of only shooting in the mornings or in the evenings or with perfectly cloudy skies, don't let that myth keep you from photographing if you want to go take those shots. Now, if this kind of light absolutely doesn't appeal to you at all, well, of course, just stay at home and stay in the AC. But you'll know exactly what kind of images you're going to get if you do that. So, thanks for joining. Make sure you like and subscribe. And as always, grab your camera, get off the couch, escape, explore, and create. Even when it's super hot in Florida and you feel like you're gonna die.